Well, thank you very much for staying with us. We'll be getting interactive shortly as we dig into the newspapers. Maxwell Lukuto, an NDC parliamentary aspirant, is our guest. But before I get to him, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic always helping us bring you this specific segment on the AM show. And here's what they're offering you in case you've never heard. If you're a man, they're offering you free prostate screening. Gratis. Untiashe. If you're a woman, they're offering you fertility screening. Do you know your fertility status? That is why all of you, in fact, including me, and I do this every year, it's my ritual. We should all make tracks to the Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. And here's where you can locate them. They're in Spintex opposite the Shell signboard. They are also in Kumasi, Kronum Abwehia behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's Takrade Anaje State, Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanzo and Siama Nzema. If you'd like to call them, and you should, pick up your phone. Around 8 o'clock, give them a buzz. 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. But just the start, the commencement of the news review. Maxwell, a very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Afobeng. Afwan.
You always like taking me down that stretch, though my OT people will bombard me with chi instead. But anyway, it's another day, right? As I always do, I would like to find out, I don't know when the last time was that you went to the constituency that you are gunning for and what the situation is there, especially as the rains are back. And then if there's any topical matter, for example, your side in Parliament, though you are not in Parliament yet, but your side in Parliament has said that they will pitch camp at the central bank, giving a 21-day ultimatum on the back of some expenditure from the year 2022. If you have any quick thoughts, and tell me what's your constituency been like, then we can quickly get into the papers. You should be able to finish this in about 2 minutes, so we start.
Good morning, Ben. Good morning to my constituents, Southtown, Sugakofet, Butama, Sukwe, and all the environs. I am actually speaking from my constituency. I've been here for some time. I'm currently under an NGO. I have partnered with an NGO which is doing eye screening, medication, giving lenses, and even going to do surgery for my constituents for free. We started on
what exactly for free?
And today we'll be in the Global Evangelical Church, where the program is scheduled to take place. I'm also visiting the BEC candidates from center to center to encourage them and to motivate them.
I was asking what it was that was for free. I didn't quite hear it.
No, the screening is free.
What
medication
screening?
Is free. Screening, yes. The screening is free. The medication is free. The lenses have been so subsidized.
Okay, so it is eye screening. Okay.
Yes, eye screening. Yes.
Okay.
15 cities for the lenses, and then what to do? Those that will have to operate on the surgeries. The surgeries will also be done for free, and so that is what I'm currently doing in the constituency, together with visiting my BC candidates and to motivate them to produce the best that they can out of the first external exam that they are undertaking. And so that is what I am engaging throughout this week. And so I speak from the constituency.
Okay.
All is quite well, but as usual, the issue about the finances, the economy is so dire. I just received an SOS message this morning. The person needs 100 Ghana cedis. And that if that 100 cedis doesn't come, he may end up ending his life today. That is the extent of the way things are harsh for people at the countryside. And so for me, it's really terrible. It's really terrible.
But I hope you spoke to this person. You gave some counseling to this person in terms of not ending their life. Why I would, focus a bit on that is recently we saw even a 7-year-old school pupil take his own life, and he knew exactly what to do. So I hope that whatever the situation may be, even if you gave the person what they needed, hopefully this doesn't arise again, or at least you gave the person some counseling or directed them where they can get some counseling, because when people get to that point, the point of desperation, then sometimes, life becomes meaningless and they want to do certain things that ordinarily they wouldn't want to do. So I hope at least you did something of the sort moving forward.
Yeah, sure. We hope that we will continue to counsel people and give them some direction and some hope. People are gradually losing hope in themselves, in the whole country. And we may be seeing most of these things in recent times, but I hope and pray that with our interaction with them and the ability to give them some hope and some leverage, I'm sure they will come around. And we just hope and pray. Things are really bad, Ben. Things are really, really bad. It's not as it used to be. It's not like this person is not engaged in any meaningful venture to make life meaningful for himself, but things don't add up. You hit here, it doesn't hit. You hit the other side, like JDN will say, quack, 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 and nothing comes out. And so it's becoming crazy as the days go by. But I just hope that we'll begin to listen to each other, give direction, and give hope. Leadership at the top should be able to make us feel that the way we are feeling, they are feeling the same thing. But if it is so reversed, and then you think that they are in heaven and then you are in the hottest part of hell, then make you feel like just any day. But for me, I would say that the last resort is not ending life. Speak to somebody. For instance, this person that I'm talking about spoke through somebody and it's gotten to me. I saw the message about 2 or 3 minutes ago when I was getting ready to come on set. And so after this, I'll find a way of getting to him and making sure that I restore some hope to him and get him back to his feet. I pray and hope that God grants me grace and the ability to be able to provide what I have to provide to him too.
Right, let's get into the papers now, find out what they have to share. And of course, the banner headline there from the Daily Graphic newspaper, 60 billion Ghana cedi loss. We took half of debt haircut. That's according to the Bank of Ghana. And I can understand that, but my concern, I want to get microscopic with this, for us to delve into the bits about maintenance of vehicles, for example, and the sums that were spent, about travel, for example, and the sums that were spent, about the sums of money given to directors and stuff, and the sums that were spent, and the increments year on year, 2021 to 2022, of over 240%, over 100%, 87%. Those are the things I want to look at. I'm not even so concerned about the DDEP. Well, the central bank played along, and some would say their hands were tied, and that, for me, also boils down to the fact that we have political appointments to the leadership of the central bank. That is one of my problems. Here in our part of the world, all these things are very problematic. Very problematic. But beyond that, the microscopic details of the Bank of Ghana, its own internal workings, and these sums of money, like Maxwell was pointing out, if the rest of us are in a certain flux, a certain fix, and we're feeling the pinch, tightening our belts till our waists are this small, and yet it appears that some other people, are now living large and expanding their waist sizes, then that is where we begin to have problems. But no tax stamp, no textile sale. And Abugi's flats under lock and key. Teachers commute from Accra to Koforidua, that is to the school. There's also district level election, EC to announce new date and supplement on US Ghana Business Expo 2023. So let's hit the ground running with those stories. And the Bank of Ghana has explained that 53.1 billion Ghana cedis out of the 60 billion losses it posted in its 2022 financial results were a direct result of the government's domestic debt restructuring exercise, both the first and second phases. A statement from the Bank of Ghana made available to the Daily Graphic yesterday said domestic debt exchange, which was a major plank of the corrective action required for the International Monetary Fund program, did not achieve the required target. The target was for the stock of government debt to be halved from 105% of the gross domestic product to 55% of the GDP by 2028. Now, contextualizing the 60 billion Ghana cedi loss in its financial results for last year, the Bank of Ghana said the losses emanated from challenges the country had faced since 2019. The statement further said there was a clear mismatch between revenue inflows and expenditure financed in 2020 by exceptional support from the IMF and the World Bank resources. I can read through all of these and say, yes, you may have some reason to part of what you're saying, but this gargantuan loss obviously comes with consequences. And in 1 year, on the back of the DDEP and on the back of the less than 10 billion Ghana cedi loss that the bank would have incurred anyway without the DDEP. 60.8 billion Ghana cedis. That is twice as much as we've gone to the IMF for. So, how then do we make any headway as a country? It's like borrowing your way into the ground and living a life where you are borrowing ad infinitum without any pause. So you are always in debt, and that's where Ghana finds itself. And now with this add-on of about 20% to our debt stock, where does that leave us? Maxwell, quick thoughts. We've already started talk on this, so very quickly, and then we'll leave it.
Yeah, Ben, so eventually I may join the parliamentarians who are going to pitch camp at the Bank of Ghana to ensure that the...
But you're not a member of parliament yet.
I said I'm going to join them. Don't I have the right to join any group of my choice?
I was just saying, I was just wondering.
I'm only saying that I'm going to join them to pitch camp. I'm not sure the pitching has been limited to only the parliamentarians. I am a citizen of Ghana and I feel strongly about the things that are happening. And I decide to join a group and to do whatever I think will inure to the benefit of the country. So you're also welcome to join us if you so please. I see that you are peeved by the kind of explanation these people are giving to us, and they think that we should take it hook, line, and sinker. Who doesn't know what maintenance is? Who doesn't know the cost of fuel? Who doesn't know that if things increase beyond your budget, you have to cut down on your expenses? Who doesn't know that travel expenses may not necessarily be by force? If you have to send 5 delegations and you know that the budget you have is half of that, why don't you send 2 or 3? So what explanations are they giving to us? You said that you have decided to cap it car maintenance, and you have added fuel, you have added lubricant, you have added repair, you have added world travel, you have added what? We are listening to all those, but the issue is that you have a budget, don't they? They have a budget and they have to run within the budget. If it is their personal money, is that the way they are going to spend it? No, they won't. Is it because it is a money for Bank of Ghana, so they decide to go on the spending spree? And they are behaving as if NDC has concocted news stories that we are putting across. It's their same auditor report that is being put across and being analyzed. Like we are saying now, we are analyzing the line-by-line expenditure for them. And so if they are coming out with this kind of explanation and they think that we should just take it, this is what makes people more angry as the day go by. And so for me, I think that if they keep quiet, the better it will be for all of us. But the more they try to explain, the more they try to infuriate people, and the worse things become for us. And so, sure, after the 21, if he doesn't resign, the deputies don't resign, I will join the pitch camp and make sure that we put so much pressure on them so that they can resign and we turn things around for this country. It's just becoming too bad. I don't know whether it's become an extension of the NPP. They are so inept. They are so...
Thank you, Maxwell.
They are so clueless. And they keep talking and they keep making noise in our ears as if we don't know what governance is all about. They behave as if they are the best government we have ever had in our fourth republic. But several people have gone, have passed.
But let's also face the facts that there have been other governors. I remember from all the days, way back from the days of Agama, when he was governor and all of that. And none of them has had it particularly rosy, even before when he was in governor, before he became Minister of Finance. He also had his own woes. It's just that this time there are, especially when you are, proposing a program for support from the IMF, and some of these matters rear their ugly heads, then it becomes problematic. But I think we should also give them some leeway. It's not as though they have been so abysmal. But last year, and on the back of some of what we've seen, it's horrendous, basically.
Is anybody putting a knife on their neck to build a new headquarters? Is anybody putting a knife on their neck?
That one is a big bone of contention. Building new headquarters at the cost of $250 million, the equivalent of about 2.8 billion Ghana cedis. That one, I mean, I have my very, very, very grave concerns about. But let's make tracks so that we don't end up spending all the time on just this. No tax stamp, no textile sale. That story on page 13 of the Daily Graphic newspaper. From October this year, no textiles can enter or be marketed in the country without a tax stamp. The Ghana Revenue Authority, which is implementing the tax measure, said affixing tax stamps to all textiles imported or locally manufactured would save the local textile industry from collapse and help it to build back to create jobs. This is one of the two initiatives being rolled out by the GRA following the amendments to some tax measures. The other measure is the imposition of tax on gaming operators and gaming wins. You do know that it was said recently that soon 10% of winnings will be taxed. Abugis flats under lock and key and a fully completed residential building for teachers of Ebri Girls Senior High School has been abandoned for the past 4 years following the contractor's refusal to hand over the project. In this country, we are funny. While some staff of the school continue to bear the brunt of the closure, the contractor insists that he needs to be paid additional money to enable him to complete the work. In an interview with the Daily Graphic yesterday, the Ghana Education Trust Fund Secretariat, the financier of the project, stated categorically that it did not owe the contractor. Officials of the Secretariat showed the Daily Graphic a schedule confirming the full payment and explained that consistent with every contract, the financier holds a retention against defects which would be paid to the contractor after the defect liability period had elapsed. Ghana for you. Ghana for you. At page 17, EC to announce new dates. The Electoral Commission will announce a new date for the district level elections. Dr. Sribwa Kweku, Director of Electoral Services, has said this has become necessary after the October 3, 2023 date initially set for the election was cancelled. Quick reflections, Abugis, and of course, we also have the tax stamps on textiles to protect the local textile industry. Quick thoughts, quick ones, Maxwell.
Yeah, Ben, so the Abugis case, I think that it should be some contractual arrangements there. And if all monies have been paid to the contract, I am part of them. We do contract and it's on. The retention will be kept after, I think, 6 months or so. Then it can be paid back to you. But for a contractor to be asking for more money to be able to finish the work might have meant something. I'm not sure out of the blue he would.
And there are defects. They are saying that there's also a retention procedure when there are defects that ought to be fixed. But for me, Maxwell, I'm wondering how this could have gone on. Now you have teachers commuting from Accra all the way to Ebri and other places, Koforidua and others. And for 4 years, this has been going on. What kind of country are we? 4 years.
Yeah, so, Ben, you see, so this government, you don't take them serious. Whatever they tell you, go to look at the other side of the story. Any of you can speak to the contractor and you hear the other side of the story. That's why I'm saying that if all things were well, the contractor would have been taken to court by now. No serious contractor who is waiting for his retention to be paid to him will lock up the facility because you have to hand over 6 months clear after that before the retention is paid to you. So if you know you have a retention to take, you would hand over quickly and get your money after 6 months. So it means there's an issue there. You see, during the course of construction, variations come. There are times that the consultants will come and vary the amount of work that you have to do. We call it additional works. So if they give you instruction to do additional works, certificate has to be prepared on same. I don't know whether they are intending to add the additional works to maybe the retention to be paid to him. But maybe he's also asking for that. So if all things were well, government would have taken this contractor to court. And by now, I'm sure he would have handed over. So for them to be waiting for these 4 years means there's something more to it. I hope you get me. So it is time we go behind the scene and get this contractor and see what can be done about it. For him, whether teachers are commuting from Accra or from Koforidua or wherever, may not be too much of his issue. It's about business. It's about contract. And so government has to meet him wherever he has to be met and then sort out the issues and the bungalow handed over. If government is serious about this thing, they will sit down with him. But up to now, 4 years, like you said, are we in a serious country? How can this happen in a very civilized society? No, it won't. So for me, it is not the best. The tax stamp on the textile product, yes, we are all looking for ways to increase our taxes and our revenue. And so if that's a way we are going to get it, and also because I've dealt with the local textile industry, I know the challenges they go through. And so once you do that, you make them at par with the foreign cheap textiles that come into the country, because we need to patronize these local textile factories and make sure that their products are around us at a very cheaper cost that can leverage on those that come from outside.
All right. The bet, let's make tracks.
I don't do the bet. Say that again.
I was saying we should make tracks. Are you on the Electoral Commission now?
No, I'm on the tax. The tax on the bet.
Okay.
I don't do the bet, but yesterday I saw some of the young ones who mostly engage in this, and they were not happy about the policy decision to tax the little they get from it. They complain that they don't have much to do. That's the little they do and they get their little income from that. They suffer to make meat. But at the end of the day, as a country, it is necessary that in everything you do, some tax be taken. It is the amount that is going to be taken from them, which I think should be the issue. If it could be looked at reasonably, I'm sure they will be able to go through. I don't do the best myself, so I don't do the details. I might not be able to speak too well about what is there.
All right. Let's quickly wrap with these
so
stories.
Let's look at these things critically because things are really hard for us.
Right,
so
Maxwell, let's
think that is a safe haven for them, or that's where they can. Then we are also going to hit hard on them. I'm sure.
All right.
If we don't take
Max, we have to make tracks. Let's move on. Let's move on, Max. Daily Guide newspaper, CDS not sacked. That's according to the Army chief. Pictured there, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama. Blay, I'm talking about Freddie Blay. Freddie Wasimeu Blay leads GNPC to Guyana confab. And there's also OSP freezes Cecilia Dapaah accounts and man sentenced to death for sacrificing son. Ignore NDC Bank of Ghana propaganda, John Kuma says so. He is Deputy Minister of Finance. Propaganda, huh? Anyway, let's get into those two stories. Well, the story on Cecilia Dapaah, I mean, nothing much in there. OSP freezes Cecilia Dapaah's accounts. That basically summarizes it. The accounts are said to hold significant quantities of CD and dollar currency, and they were administratively frozen by the special prosecutor, who has already filed documents in court asking permission to continue the action. Following the news that she was keeping more than $1 million in her home, the former minister is still being investigated. There have been the court proceedings and all of that. But I asked myself, like happened with the PPA, former boss, Ejenim Boateng Ejay, and how he got his sums of money back. This one too. Anyway, the focus is going to be on page 6. Page 6. Now, man sentenced to death for sacrificing son. A 33-year-old food vendor has been sentenced to death by an Accra High Court after he was found guilty by a jury for throwing his 2-year-old son into the sea near Akuma village, Accra, as a sacrifice to become rich. The convict, Prince Akwe, aka Jew, according to court documents, had engaged in occultism and killed his son for sacrifice in April 2021. Sad development. Very, very sad development. There's also the business finder. NLA exempted from 10% tax. Other licensed private lotto operators cry foul. So how is that? And there's also inflation inches up to 43.1%. Charlie? Let me just do those and then we shall call it a conversation. So, page 4. The year-on-year inflation for July 2023 has increased to 43.1% compared to 42.5% recorded in June 2023, the Ghana Statistical Service has said. The GSS noted that the Consumer Price Index for July 2023 was 191.0 as against 133.5 for July 2022. And this also tells you, month on month, now for about 3 months running, we've seen increments. Again, what is going on? Then the final bit I'm looking at, is that story meant to be on page 9? There was that story. Page 6, rather. On page 9, there is corruption, nepotism, injustice erodes state institutions. But page 6, the National Lottery Authority's 590 game has been exempted from the 10% withholding tax imposed on the gross winnings from all betting, gaming, lotto, and other games of chance. And private lotto operators and third-party collaborators operating NLA's 590 game will also not pay the 10% tax on wins. But licensed private lotto operators are crying foul. They are saying, why should we be picking and choosing as far as this tax is concerned? Final thoughts, Maxwell. Our time is up, so I'm giving you 30 seconds. Let's go.
Yeah, so Cecilia Dapaah, these are the fallouts we are getting. But as the days go by, we hear about new things, and it only tells us that all is not well. I just hope and pray that the OSP will stand on his feet and not be swayed, as usually that the president does, what he did to the former OSP boss. And then I hope and pray that same thing doesn't befall him. And then we'll get some positive results coming out of whatever he's doing. As for John Kuma talking about NDC doing propaganda, it's laughable. I don't take him serious again. Himself and his boss, Ken Oforiatta, especially about the IMF thing, we're never going to go, and before a day or two, we were there. And so I don't take him serious again. What is the propaganda and whatever the NDC is talking about? Have they manifested any new stories or any new headline? Okay. It is what has come out from the Bank of Ghana that we are analyzing. And so for me, we don't want to take them serious.
Right.
For the woman who has thrown the also into the sea as a sacrifice to make money, it only goes to tell us how desperate we have become as Ghanaians and the way things are not going too well for us. And
that story, actually, that incident happened in 2021. But thank you, Maxwell, for joining the conversation. We're so grateful, always glad to have you. Maxwell Lukuto is an NDC parliamentary candidate for South Tone. He joined the conversation. Have a good day, sir. And now, as we wrap and segue into sports, the segment brought to you by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They're offering free prostate screening if you're a man, free fertility screening if you're a woman. Here's where you can locate them. Here in Accra at Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi, Krodemabwe here, behind the Angel Educational Complex, the Stakwade Anaji Estate, Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanswa, and the Siamanzima. Their call lines 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Bringing us to the end of the news review, but just the start of all the sporting action coming your way up next, Tuesday.